Hello. So I'm going to try and answer some questions that I've received. A few days ago, I had posted a video inviting my subscribers to ask questions. So I have received a few questions. I'll try to answer them, but some of them are quite funny. So I'll have to. I'll just read out those questions. Maybe you find them funny as well. But some questions are good. So the first question comes from Murali Yadav. My dog is dragging chain. She is not in my control. So, so this is a very small question that has a big answer. But jokes aside, the reason why dogs are out of control is because they don't know what else to do. So if I have a dog that is walking along with me and I give that dog a job, I ask the dog to just walk along with me, heel with me. I always am engaged with the dog. I ask the dog to do something. The dog is always working with me. Then the dog has no time to do other things that it wants to do. So those things may be good or bad, we don't know. But the moment you let the dog to its own devices, it may do anything it wants. So there is no guarantee to what it will do. So the answer to his question is, you have to start training your dog in basic obedience, like focusing on you, heel walking, sit, look at me, come here and all that. So you can replace the unwanted behavior with the wanted behavior. You cannot say that I don't want the dog to do this behavior. That is okay, but what are you going to replace it with? So unless you have some behaviors to replace that behavior, your dog will not be under your control, or else you'll have to use violence. You have to hit the dog and punish the dog and all that, and that is just a race to the bottom, a downhill slope. We don't want to go there. The next question comes from V4 from my phone. That's his name. And I had asked people to post training questions, and this person has posted how to stop ticks in my Rottweiler. So that's the question. Okay. The next question comes from Raylin Toscano. How to teach your Doberman Pinscher to weave between legs. What I'll do is I'll try and post some videos that can help you with this, but it is a very difficult behavior to train unless your dog is clicker savvy. Unless you have a foundation in clicker training, it is a little bit difficult to train that behavior. But what I'll do is I'll try to post some videos, links to some videos underneath this video. So the next question comes from Usha Bhatnagar. Hi, I plan to buy a Doberman and I am very worried about cleanliness. I don't want to keep cleaning him every time we go for a walk. Any advice you can give? Please do not get a dog. Just a second. Okay, I'm back. So Usha Bhatnagar, please do not get a dog. That is my advice. Dogs are inherently unclean, and if you cannot deal with that, if everything has to be perfect for you, and this is not a negative statement. Some people, they cannot deal with a little bit of dust here, a little bit of hair there and all that. I really don't care about it because what I get in exchange for that is limitless love and limitless joy. So even if you have a child in the house, the child is going to mess up the floor, it's going to spill milk and vomit and urinate and poop in the wrong place and all that. But what you get in return for that is immense joy. The only place that is absolutely clean is the ICU of a hospital, so where people go to die or they are struggling for life. So if you want to have a joyous life, obviously there will be a lot of mess, and if you can't deal with that, don't get a dog. I am not being rude, I am not being sarcastic. Of course, I am sounding funny, but this is my honest advice. I am also worried if he will be too aggressive of a breed. Is that true? Usha Bhatnagar asks me a second question. No, Doberman are not aggressive. Aggression itself has been bred out of most breeds, And even if a dog is aggressive, the dog is not aggressive towards its pack if the relationship is right. So, but anyway, your first question makes the second question irrelevant. Please do not get a dog. Next question is Nishant Gosalkar. Hello Ramachandran. How to train a Dobie or any dog to live alone for 4 to 6 hours? Also train him for his separation anxiety. Can you make a video on it, please? See, this video was just question and answers. I cannot make a video on it because showing you how to leave your dog alone for 4 to 6 hours is not easy. But here is how you can start training it. Anything you want to train your dog in, it has to be started as a small seed. So what you do is you separate your dog for 1 minute. Okay, you put your dog inside the room for a minute and then come back and get your dog. And then you separate your dog for 2 minutes and then you come back and get your dog. Then you separate your dog for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, so on and so forth. And then after you reach something like 10 minutes, then come back to 1 minute, then do 7 minutes, then do 3 minutes. Make it random. Let the dog not think that if the door closes, it's going to be a long time for my owner to return. So even when you lift weights or you start running, you don't run a marathon on the first day. What you do is you take 100 steps and then you walk for 100 steps. Then you jog 100 steps, you walk for 100 steps. The dog also has to be trained like that in small increments. So if your dog gets separation anxiety after 30 minutes, you practice separating your dog for 25 minutes, number of times, and then increase it to 27 minutes, 28 minutes, and then you will find that your dog is better able to cope with such separation. The next question is asked by Kishore Kumar. How long does it take to completely train my dog? Obedience, heel, and etc. It takes a lifetime to train your dog. The training doesn't end. The training never ends. If you start training your dog, you have to train your dog till your last breath or your dog's last breath. So that's that. Training never ends. Next question is by Yannick Anthony. Hi, I'd like to know how you would train a fearful 5 months old puppy, afraid of people when walking on a leash. It is a Malinois. Thank you. So it's quite easy, but again your dog must be clicker savvy. So what you do is we do something called as desensitization. So obviously the dog is afraid of something. So you can never make a dog not afraid of the thing that it is afraid of. You can only teach a dog to cope with the presence of that thing that triggers the fear. So let's say that I'm afraid of snakes. You can't pay me $1 million to put a snake around my neck and kiss the snake and all that, right? But you can incentivize me being able to deal with the presence of the snake. So you have to respect the dog's instincts. If the dog doesn't like strangers, then it doesn't like strangers. But your dog doesn't have to act tense and out of control when it is in the presence of that stimulus that triggers that reaction in the dog. I hope it is clear. So what you do is there is something called as sub-threshold reinforcement. So if the dog is afraid of a stranger, if the stranger is 50 meters from the dog, then you keep the dog at 60 meters and then you click and treat the dog hundreds of times so that the dog gets used to that stranger being there at 60 meters. And then you make it 59 meters and then you make it 58 meters and then eventually you will find that the dog is comfortable at 5 meters. But after that 5 meters, you may find that the dog doesn't want to go any nearer because the dog is an individual and it has a choice. So you have to respect that choice. So this is my point of view. I don't believe in forcing the dog to do something that it has decided that it doesn't like. I'll teach my dogs to deal with it in a very civil and calm manner. I don't want my dog to freak out. The next question is Chef Soumya Mukherjee. Sir, I am a chef having a French Mastiff, female, 7 months. What type of training should be for her? All dogs need some basic training like sit, come here, down, stay down, look at me, walk along with me, take the food calmly from my hand and all that. Sada, good boy. Sada, relax. So these kinds of, see what I did, the dog came up here, so I asked the dog to go back and lie down in his place. So these kinds of trainings are very useful for real life. But if there is only one thing that you have to teach your dog, the most important thing is to make the dog understand that it has to come whenever it is called. So I'd start with that, and clicker training is the way to go. So start with clicker training, Google clicker training and you start with clicker training. The next question comes from Karthi G811. When treat is in my hand, it obeys, but with empty hand, it won't do any. Solutions, please, sir. So the trick to this is to make the dog understand that you can magically make a treat appear. So walk around with the treat all the time in the house and reward your dog randomly when it does something that you like. So this makes the dog think that you always have a treat on it. You always have a treat on yourself, and you can magically produce a treat from your pocket or from your hands. So usually when you have some treats in your hand, the dog is cued to this fist, and the dog knows that if you make a fist, there is treats inside, and if you don't have a fist, the dog assumes that it doesn't get any treats. So what you do is you always have some treats on hand, or you keep a treat on the table, dining table, and then you pick the treat up and give it to the dog. Okay, so that's how you deal with it. It's quite easy. The next question is from Sosa. How do I train my German Shepherd puppy to do push-ups and stopping the fear of fireworks? Wow. So I don't know how to train a German Shepherd puppy to do push-ups, but I have a video on how to train dogs to be not afraid of fireworks. Now, if you go to my channel and search for Diwali dog training, DEEWALI DOG TRAINING, I have clearly explained how to teach your dog to deal with fireworks. Next question comes from Bharani Dharan. Hi sir, is it possible to train a 6-year-old dog? Dog breed, street dog. The answer is yes, it is possible to train a 6-year-old dog or even a 16-year-old dog. Now, to what extent you can train the dog is what can be debated. But all dogs can be trained, and this whole thing about breed is just in the human's mind. The dog is blissfully unaware about what breed it is. So, if a dog is smart, it is smart. It is born with that smartness in blood. So, yeah, you can train any dog. It just takes a little bit more time, a little bit more patience, and a little bit more understanding to train an older dog. Now, next question is from Vivek Bhatt. Dog walking daily is necessary. So, I'm just going to leave it at that. So, he's asking me, should I walk my dog every day? That's what I assume he's asking. So, I'm not going to answer that. The next question comes from Kannan Selvaraja. Sir, I have a GSD. She used to stay with me in my room since she was a puppy. She has just littered a few days back. My problem is she is not staying with her litter. So I do not know anything about dog breeding or puppies. So I cannot help you, Kannan Selvaraja. Please consult your veterinarian. Maybe he'll be able to help you. The first thing is you need to take care of the puppies. So please contact your veterinarian. Next is B. Santosh 1980. Dear sir, I have a 2-month-old dog puppy. What is the first thing I should train him? The first thing you should train a puppy in is to be calm around food. So when you offer food, the puppy should understand that it has to accept that food with calmness. So I have videos on it. So you go to my YouTube channel and search for calmness around food. So that is the first thing you should train your dog in. Only that is a foundation for all the other training. So even if you train your dog to sit or down, if the dog is constantly lunging at the food that is in your hand, then you can't train the dog. So you have to first teach the dog to accept food calmly and politely from your hand. The next question is Krishnamurthy Mahadevan from Krishnamurti Mahadevan. My dog is unwantedly barking. How to control that one, please? Many thanks. See, I keep going back to this. The dog will do anything if it does not have something in particular to do. See, I've asked my dog to lie down there. The other dogs outside are barking. So if I had not asked my dog to lie down, he will also go and bark with the other dogs. Since I have given him something to do, he is not doing the other thing. So if you want to stop a particular behavior, you have to have a repertoire of behaviors in your hand to replace that behavior that you want to stop, or else it is just you have to hit your dog. That's the answer. Beat your dog. Of course, don't beat your dog. I'm being sarcastic. So you can't ask your dog to not do something. It will do whatever it wants. So if you want your dog to not do something, you have to give it something else so that it doesn't do that thing that you don't like. Okay, so don't beat your dog. I just meant it as a joke, okay? Don't beat your dog. Okay, next question is from Afshal Ahmad. My dog was always biting my mom's saris and my veshti edges, not at all leaving what to do. See, puppies tend to bite a lot. So what I do is, if my puppy bites me, I have 3 strategies. The first strategy is I just squeal like it hurt me and I go away. So the moment it uses its mouth, I'll just switch off and I'll go away. I'll isolate the puppy. Usually puppies do this when they are separated from their litter at a very early age, when their mother doesn't teach them what is called as bite inhibition. Usually, Indians tend to pick up puppies when they don't even, they are not even able to see, they have not opened their eyes. So always it is best to pick a puppy that has played with its mother and its siblings for at least a few weeks, because the puppy would have bit the mother and the mother will admonish the puppy, and the puppy knows that, hey, this thing in my mouth, it hurts others and I get a bad reaction if I put too much pressure on it. But what I do is, first thing I do is, if my puppy bites me, I usually shriek and I run away, right? And I make sure that the puppy understands that the fun stops if I use my mouth. If that puppy still doesn't understand, then I verbally rebuke the puppy saying that no, or I growl at the puppy. And the third thing I do, if the puppy doesn't respond to that, I simply push the puppy away, because I have no interest in getting bitten. So I push the puppy away and I go away. So eventually the puppy will learn that, hey, if I use my mouth like this, the fun stops. Okay, and the last question is from Sibi Chakravarti. I have a male Rajapalyam pup, and as we had him as a pet, okay, I hadn't trained him, but he has become uncontrollable now. Okay, fair enough. And not even responding to any commands. Also has bite a friend of mine last week. He is 14 months old now. Anything can be done to change the behavior. Of course, start training your dog. Start training your dog in sit, in down, in heel, in go and lie down, place command, eat when told, stop eating, spit. Dogs that have behavioral problems are usually dogs that are not trained. So you start training your dog, and 14 months is not too old an age to train your dog. So the only way to change the behavior is to teach the dog other behaviors. I keep going back to this again and again. Most of the problems come from not having a set of behaviors that you like. See, I have my house and I have all those things, can you see, in my shelf. If I keep it empty, something else will be there which I may or may not like, I don't know. So in order for me to prevent some random thing from being there, I have to keep my things there. So that's the strategy. I hope it was helpful, and in the future I'll try to do more videos like this. I hope that you will ask me more specific and technical training questions. I'll be very happy if I can answer such technical questions. But anyway, this is a start, and let's hope that I can do this more often. Thank you.